Okay, thanks, John. So, hi everyone. Welcome to the seventh Calicut meetup. Thank you for joining. It's nice to see you all, and it's been a long time since we conducted a meetup now. So, as you all know, the topic for the day is deep dive into RAML 1.0, and I can see that the speaker is very familiar to most of you, Abhishek Bathwal. Thank you. Um, so, I'll read out the safe harbor statement for you guys. Both the speaker and the host are organizing this meetup in individual capacity only. We are not representing our companies here. The presentation is strictly for learning purposes only. Organizer or presenter do not hold any responsibility that same solution will work for your business requirements. This presentation is not meant for any promotional activities. So the recording of this meetup will be uploaded to the page within 24 hours, and there is a Q&A chat. You guys can put your questions over there at any time, and just like Abhishek said, at the end of whenever he stops a topic, we can discuss the question answers, and we can also enable the mic for you guys, and uh, please give the feedback. It always helps with the topic or any other improvement. About the organizers, myself, I'm Fatima Farzana. I'm from Kerala. I'm currently working in NJC Labs in Kerala, and I have around 3 years of experience in MuleSoft. And my co-host for the day is John. John, over to you.
Yeah, thank you, Fatima. So, hi everyone, I am John Matthew. So, I'm working at NJC Labs as an integration MuleSoft developer, predominantly working in MuleSoft, and I have around 3 years of experience, just like Fatima. And I'm here based out of Kerala, Kochi, and yeah, so happy to be a part of the meetup today after a long time. And also I would like to take this moment to thank Abhishek, especially he was so, just want to bring it up at this point, that he was really keen and helpful when I approached him first. So thank you, Abhishek, from my side as well as Calicut Mills of Meetup's behalf, for accepting the invitation and coming over for the meetup. Yeah, thank you everyone, so looking forward to the meet.
Thank you, John.
Yeah.
And Abhishek, are you going to take up from here, or
Yeah, you can give me access. I can take it from here.
okay? I'll stop sharing.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, thank you. Just let me know if you can see my screen.
Yeah, we
Yes,
can
Abhishek.
see your screen. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, everyone, and hello. Hi, this is Abhishek. First of all, I would like to thank to Calicut Group, John and Fatima, to inviting me over here, giving me this opportunity, and thanks to the audience to be here on a Saturday of their Saturday, okay, and giving us time. Thank you so much. So all about me, I'm a MuleSoft ambassador working as an associate solution architect at Episero. I have overall of 7+ years of IT experience and 5+ years in MuleSoft. I'm a certified developer and architect, meetup speaker, and a leader for Guwahati and Lucknow meetup group. I'm a GTM champion as well. That's all about me. So I hope today's session will be more fruitful to you, and you will gain some knowledge from this meetup. So RAML. So coming on the agenda, so we are going to discuss like what is RAML, difference between specification and fragment. Like most of the people get confused, like why we have this and what is the use of that. Different type of fragments like data type, library, security schema, resource type, threads. In data type, we will have some validations and like what are the best practice, and we'll talk about query string, like what this query string is helpful to, why we can use this or where we can use this. Okay, so moving to what is RAML from the audience, I would like to know like what you understand by RAML. Like it's a very frequent question or very easy question. Maybe any one of you can write it over chat or may unmute and speak like what they understand about RAML. So like let's have little brush up, like let us understand what you're understanding about RAML. So anyone please feel free to uh, unmute and speak or write it over chat, anyone.
RAML
Uh,
in
Yep,
general layman's term is like a blueprint of an API.
true. It's like a blueprint of an API, mostly a REST API. Anyone else?
So mostly it is like a contract, Abhishek. So what the API is supposed to do and how it's supposed to behave.
True, we can say that. Cool. Okay. So what RAML is? RAML stand for RESTful API Modeling Language. So it's a structure or a blueprint. It give you an idea like how your API is going to be, what all resources are there, what are the parameters are there. We can say what are data types or security has been applied over there, what are traits are there. Okay. So RAML is used to create REST API, and it gives the structure of your REST API. Okay, it gives the structure, it gives you an idea about that. Okay, so we'll discuss like what's the difference between specification and fragment. So this is how, like, when you go to your design center and you will see all these options over there. Okay, so a fragment is a part of your specification. Okay, a fragment is a part. A specification cannot be included in a fragment, but a fragment can be imported in a specification, and we'll see that. Then these are the different fragment type which we are going to discuss today. Okay, and I'll show you like how we create that. Best practices like modularize or fragmentization, that means why we should create fragments, what is the use of that, and some naming standards. So like these are the four naming standard which we should follow whenever we create any RAML, any fragment, like any API specification, anything we are doing, we should follow this naming convention. Any one of them you can follow, it's upon you. Okay, so now directly go to the demo, and we'll also discuss about query string, that is a part of your RAML again. Okay, so yeah, Saleh. Okay, so this is how like our design center looks. Okay, you got an option in your API, in your platform, where you can go and you can choose the design center over there. So once you come to your design center, okay, yeah, at present I have few fragments and specification, that's why you can see it over here. But if there is nothing and you are creating it from the scratch, it will be empty, and this is how the palette will look like. So what you need to do is you need to click over here, and then you need to select what you need to create. You need to create a fragment or you need to create a specification. Okay, so if you want to create a fragment, we'll click over there. In this you will see several options. Okay, you need to provide a name, and you will need to choose what fragment you want to create. Okay, this all the options you have: trait, resource type, library, data type, user documentation, all this you have. Okay, so this is how you will select your fragment. If you want to select the specification, you will click, you'll give the name of your specification, whatever name of your RAML file you want to create, you can use that. Okay, so this one, designing it own. So when you choose this, so you need to do everything of your own. Okay, you need to create the RAML from scratch of your own. If you use this, guide me through it, then you will get a different tab or window, where you will get to know like how to create it. If you are a beginner and if you want to learn, so this will be helpful to you to know like what are names you can give, how to give the resources, and I will show you that at the end, like how these two are different. Okay, I will show you that at the end. So can anyone tell me what's the difference between a fragment and a specification? Why we have this two different thing? What's the difference, and like how that is useful? Anyone?
Fragments are reusable parts which we can
Mhm.
use in different specs, but I think spec is not reusable.
Spec is not usable. Okay. Fragment is a small usable definitions. Yes. Fragment are usable component. Yeah. Common for many. Yeah. So what fragments do, as a lot of you have already mentioned it, it is like for reusability. Okay. Now think of a scenario like let us think about API led connectivity where we have got experience, process, and system layer. Now think of a trait, client ID enforcement, or traceable. Now your organization has a standard like the client ID enforcement or the traceability should be used throughout all your APIs which you are creating. Maybe it's a experience, it's a process, or it's a system layer. So now suppose I'm creating specification for each individually. So what will be best? Creating a fragment which will be reused in those APIs, or individually creating the trait inside the API. Correct. So it is always good to have a common trait when we know it is going to be common. It is going to be common to all. So why to why to waste your time creating the same thing again? Why don't we create one and use that throughout? Because it is going to be same. Because creating the trait again and again to different resources, it's better to create one and use the same. Okay, so that's why fragment come into picture. And fragment can be a part of specification, because specification is something which define the structure of your API. Fragment just defined a small part, maybe a data type or resource type, a security schema traits, or a library, anything. Okay, it defines a small part, but specification define a complete part, a complete package of your API. And as Harshit said, like, we don't reuse the specification, because specification is created for a particular API. Like if I'm creating for a system API, I'll create one specification for that system API. That will be one. But fragment can be reused, it can be used for many. Okay, so how, as I said, like how you create fragments. So let us see, it's a fragment for trait. Okay, in this, what I have done, I have created two files. One for client ID enforcement, which is this, which will work as a header. Another one is for traceable, like the correlation ID or anything which we are passing and you want to trace it. When you are passing a correlation ID from your experience API, moving toward process and system, so you can trace your payload, like to which part it has gone, or if there is any error, then you can trace that. Okay, so this is what this trait is going to do. Okay, similarly, what we have got data types. Okay, we have got data types, we have got resource type. So what data type do? In data type we can define the inputs which we want to give as a post, maybe, or the response which we are expecting. So we can define the structure over here. So now in this you can see, this is a data type which is a type object, and these are the fields. Okay, these are the fields for my object. Okay, name, phone, email, these are mandatory. Okay, and I have define it over here with an example. So when I'm going to use this data type in my API, I'm going to also see the examples, which I will show you. Okay. So this is about data type. What resource type do? The methods, all the methods which we have, like get, post, patch, everything which we have, for that also we can create a fragment instead of creating that individually to each of the API. Okay, we know like get, post, put, patch, delete, all of that are going to use in the APIs. Without methods there is no API, there should be a method. So in a resource type fragment we can create a common resources, and we can also like parameterize that, or like if you see, these are variables. Okay, we don't need to hard code anything, we can parameterize, or we can put variables to all of them so that it can be reused. Okay, now you might think this may come in your mind like, okay, if I am putting a get, post, or anything, then I need to define the body in this way. So what will happen, like there is a API which required JSON, but there is another API which required XML. So how it will be useful? So we can parameterize that. Okay, so you will see this resource path, these are predefined variable. Okay, this is something which is predefined by MuleSoft, and I will show you how and why it is used. Sorry, again and again this is coming. Okay, and this type of variables which is there inside this body, or which is not a part of a description, maybe I can say these are user defined. This is something which I have defined. Okay, and I will show you like how this works. Okay, so this is about resource type. Then security schema, like if you want to provide any security schema like basic authentication or auth 2.0 or anything, any security schema you want to apply for an API to secure it. Okay, so you can use this fragment. So if you'll see, there are options over here, like what all security schema you can give. You can give this all security schema. And a good part about this design center, we can say, maybe the fragment or specification, it gives you an auto sense option where you can select, okay, what all things you required. So there is one more fragment, that is library, which I will show you when I will discuss about telecom. Okay, because libraries where you can define all this fragment in a single place, instead of creating this individually over here. What we can do, we can create a library. In that library I don't need to create this fragment individually, the content of this fragment can be there inside the library. Okay, we can do that. So till now, any question, anyone? Gazanan is asking to enable the mic. Can we do that?
Yeah, it's done that. So
Yeah,
just to
it's
add,
already done. Yeah.
yeah,
Uh,
just to add, Abhishek, you
yeah.
already explained us a bit all the things, but just to add on that, like, please create these fragment only when we need to require, like, to reuse only. Don't create it unnecessarily that we don't want to reuse it, right? So that is
True.
the one catch we have to hear, because might be somebody's will thinking in a way like. For data type we should have a different fragment, for security we have a different fragment. It's not like that. The main purpose here is reusability and the common best practices we have to use across the organization. That's
Yeah.
the main catch here, so
Very
keep
true.
in mind that. Yeah.
Thanks for adding that point. Like as I said, like traits, as it is going to be used in all your APIs, like experience process or system, you should create it as a common fragment. But now suppose there are data types which are particularly attached to that API only. Okay, so your experience API, there is a data type, and that data type is going to be used only in that API. It is not going to use in other API. So there is no point of creating a fragment for usability. Likewise, if there is a pass-through API where you know, okay, one particular data type is going to be used in experience and process, both are same. There you can create it as a fragment for reusability. Thanks for adding that point, Gazanan.
Abhishek, I have one doubt.
Yeah.
So, like in we have the, what do we say, the security schema fragment, okay?
Hmm.
But can't we do the same thing in traits? Like we can apply one trait name as, you know, based on some security schema, like this client ID enforcement.
Hmm.
So it is also, I think, a type of uh, a security scheme only. So
Uh,
why do we need a separate fragment for security scheme?
okay. See, when you say security scheme, it brings your auth, it brings your basic authentication. Now, client ID enforcement, we cannot say it's a security scheme. Okay, it's something different. Okay, it's provide you are providing some input to your header. Okay,
Mhm.
but when you use security scheme, you are doing some kind of authentication in way, I can say, like you are calling some different authorizer where you are first checking about the token, like how we do for auth. We are checking the token whether that token is correct or not. Then you get this confirmation from that API. Okay, this token is correct, and then you allow the user. Now, when you use client ID enforcement, we can say, like, if we are not using any third party, if we are using the access one from our API manager, suppose the policy which we apply, we are using from our access manager. From your access manager, you are verifying the policy. Or maybe if you are using the AWS, from there also you can use that client ID enforcement policy to check, okay, the token is matching or not. But when you do security schema, you are asking a third party to authorize whether this is an authorized user or not. Like Facebook, if your Facebook is attached to your bank account, suppose, for example, in your Facebook you are doing some payment, for example. So your Facebook will route to your bank. It will try to authenticate whether the user is a authorized user or not, and whether that site is an authorized site or not. Then it will grant you permission, and then it will come to you to do the other capabilities. But in client ID enforcement, you are not doing that type of checking over there. You are just checking the token. You are not checking whether the site is correct or not, whether the token which is provided by the user is correct or not, whether the user is correct or not. In client ID, you are just using the token. So if I provided you that token, you can access that.
Mhm.
Correct. But in auth, if I am trying to do with a fake site, that site will also get verified now whether the site is correct or not.
Okay, okay.
Okay, so there it makes some difference. Okay, so like traceability is also a trait. Now that cannot be security schema, because that is a part of your header to identify your request, to trace your request. Correct.
Understood.
Yeah. Now, next thing, whenever you create a fragment, you need to publish it. Okay. So what you need to do is you need to publish it to your exchange. So inside your trait, simply you can go and you can publish it to exchange from here. Because until and unless you don't publish it, your specification will not be able to import it. Okay, so now how to import a fragment? So in this is my specification. Okay, this is my specification file. So now in this you will see exchange dependency. If you'll go to this, you will see an option for fragments and an option for plus. So you need to click it over here, and from here you can select, okay, the one which you have just published, like this as my published fragments. I can select which fragment I want to import in my specification. You just simply need to click and you need to add. Once you do that, you will see it has been imported and you can find it over here in this way. Okay, so all my fragments which I have created, I have imported, and I will use those in my specification. Okay, in my structure clear creation, when I'm going to create my structure. So any question till now?
Ajay Santosh has asked if you can elaborate a bit on library part.
Yeah, when I will go to telecom API, Ajay, I will discuss about library. I will show you, okay, what library do. Okay, I'll do that. Why I'm not doing library, because in library we can put all these fragments, and if I create a separate fragment in this for so when I'm going to show the demo for this, if I need to make any changes again and again, I need to publish it, which I don't want to do. That's why when I will come to telecom one, I will explain you the library. I will show you how we can put all the things in that and how we call it. Okay, so yeah,
Thank you, Abhishek.
so this is my specification for a book API. Okay, I'm creating a system API. So how to call the trait? Okay, the keyword which we need to use to include this trait which is there over here, which I have imported from the exchange in my specification. To include that, the keyword I need to use is trait. Then I can give a name, a particular name to any of this file. Like in my trait, I have two files. One is client data enforcement and one is traceable. So I've given the same name for that uh, files, and I have included. So the keyword I used is exclamation include. So this help us to include the file for trait in my specification. Same thing I have done for resource type and security and for data type. So for data type, the keyword we use is types. For resource type, we are using resource type, and for security scheme, we are using security schemes. So these are the keywords, and automatically you will see all this over here. Okay, you can find it over here. So already have used trait type, resource, and this one security scheme. That's why in this type and traits I don't see anything else. Okay, if I try to remove this, okay, okay, it is already using, that's why it is not removing. But if I remove this, automatically it will sense and it will show me the option over here. Okay, now here I have created my resource, which is author. Okay, is the keyword to include traits inside. So traceable is a trait, is the keyword to include this in my resource. So when I write it over here, so it get used for both my get and post. Okay, same secured by, I have used basic as a keyword to call that file. Okay, secured by is used to call secure schema. Type, okay, data type, uh, this I'll show you. Okay, type keyword is used to call the data type. I have created a variable. Okay, that's why I have used this, but type is the keyword to call data type. Okay, in your resources. Okay, and resource type, so this collection, again type is a keyword which is used to call this. So my resource type file name is a collection which I have used over here, and I have got all the get, post, both the methods I have. Okay, then I have a variable for example, so that what I can do myself, I can define any example which I want. Okay, so this is how it's create. Okay, now if I'll go to see get, you will see traceable is enabled for both. So you can see X correlation ID, the traceable over here. You can see the security basic authentication because we have applied that. Okay, now this is a get request, the example which I have defined. Why I'm using example reference one? Because I have a variable example reference one which is attached to this get. Okay, in post I am using this data type to define the data type and example reference 2 to define the example. So I have defined the data type which is author info, which is this one. Okay, so if I'll go to post, still I can see security x correlation id. This is my example, the body. Okay, this is my response example. Okay, author created. Now if you'll see, I have just defined data type one author. Okay, if you'll see the collection, this is here I have just given the variable name. Okay, but it is automatically taking it from here. The example which I have provided over here, you can find it. The example, you can see it over here also. Okay, any question? I spoke about this resource path name. So what it do is, there is one more resource path. Okay, one is resource path, one is resource path name. I will show you. So I have simply used resource path. So if you'll see in my description, this is to get author. Okay, if you'll see post, here it is describing, this is to create author. Why? Because in this description part I have written this is to create, and then the variable, the predefined variable, this is to get, and the predefined variable. Nowhere I have mentioned whether it is a author or not. It is automatically taking the resource name from here. Okay, it is automatically taking the resource name from here. Okay, so all of you clear till this? Okay, so this is just an overview which I have given. Now we'll go to the actual part where I will do the changes and I will show you. Okay, any question till now? Silence, so I think
Hi,
it's,
Abhishek. Yeah,
yeah.
can you show that API, books API? Just one question, like even here you have declared basic authentication under security schemes, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so now at the dry run, okay, if we pass anything, okay, it will just see whether that basic authentication username or password is present or not, but it will not validate it, right?
No, it will not validate here. It will just, like what this is doing, this is
Hmm.
just we can say giving you an structure, like how we are using it. Correct.
Yes,
It
yes.
is explaining you, like if you are giving client ID enforcement,
Hmm.
so your RAML is only going to restrict you, like you need to give the header as client
Hmm.
ID and client secret, but it is not going to validate. For that, what you will do, you will apply the policies then,
Policies. Yes,
which
yes.
will help you to validate it.
Yes.
Here you are not going to validate. Here you can
Yes.
validate your data types, we can say. Okay,
Yeah.
you can validate those, but in for this traceability, like traits or security, all this you are not going to validate. It is giving you a structure, like I need to have a basic auth, that's it.
Yeah, and one more benefit of this security schemes, defining the security schemes is you can see that header as security. We can do the client ID enforcement even in traits, but then that will not be visible under security tag here, I guess.
That will come, no, that will come under headers, because that
That
is a
will come
header
under
part.
headers. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes.
correct. Anyone, any other question? No. Okay, so now let's come to the telecom, where we'll see all this individually. Okay, so as I said about library. Okay, so a library, we can say, is a one-stop place where instead of creating several different fragments individually, we can create a library and we can use all these fragments in this one particular part. So like how we have a book library, a place where we can get a lot of books, whatever we want, a one-stop place. Same, this is for this library. So I can define the trait over here. So for trait, traceable. Okay, this is what my trait. So earlier when I individually have defined that, in that I have created a file traceable and I have defined the header part over there. In this, I defined a trait where traceable is my name of the trait, header, and the field type. This types is for data type. So postpaid is one of my data type. where this is my fields which I'm defining over here. Okay, this is my fields. Similarly, I have a prepared object. These are my fields. Okay, required true. What is the type, a string type or a number type. This is my pattern. This is a pattern to validate, we can say, or to restrict, okay, to the numbers. Similarly, we have got for email a pattern, like I want to have a generic pattern which need to be followed, okay, in order to get the email. When I'm getting an email, it should be in a particular format. That's why we have the pattern. For number, like I just want it should be a 10 digit, it should not extend, it should not start with 0. Okay, it should be of 10 digit. So this is what validations I have done. So can anyone tell me, like, is it mandatory to define this required? Like now suppose if I want to make this field optional, uh, so do I need to always define required as false or required as true to mention whether I want to do it as an optional or a, uh, like required field? Anyone?
Default will be optional. It's false.
Default will be optional. Okay, so like you are saying, like if I'm not providing required as true, it is optional.
Yes,
It,
correct.
anyone else? What about type? Do I need to always define the type as string or number, then only it will take, or what should be the default value? If I'm not defining a type, what should be the default value? Anyone?
Yeah, we can see some answers coming in the chat, Abhishek. Yeah,
Okay, it's in the chat.
yeah.
I think
uh
default value is string for the type. Not sure.
Sorry, come again. What,
I
Harjit?
think default type is string, if I'm not wrong.
Yes, default is string. Okay, so now let us take it. So first, this is my library where I have defined my type, my traits. Okay, there is a resource type, there is a security scheme. Okay, everything same as what we defined earlier. So my one resource type is collection, where I have got get and post. One is for query string, where I have defined this one query string as a type, and I will show you how it works. Here I have defined resource path name, resource path as description. Okay, all this I have defined. Okay, so now let's see this. So how to include a library in your API specification? Uses is the keyword. Okay, this is a field name, I can say, which I have given to this library file. We don't use have exclamation include as we were doing for traits and other thing. For other fragments, we are not going to do that for this library. Just simply we need to define the name, like the path of this library, we can say. That's the only thing we need to do. Include is not required. Okay, so now I'm using a resource customer. I have used type. Now collection is my resource type. So as it is coming from my library and my library is defined by mylib, I need to give it as mylib.collection. Okay, so which one I am calling? I am calling this one. Okay, this particular we are working on now. So in this, what we have a get. Here I have defined a variable resource path name, which is a predefined variable. I have just used that. In this first get, I am using an example which is reference one, and the second one I'm using a type, data type, to define this post, okay, which is application JSON, but I want to give a data type of my own. I don't want to hard code it. Then I have the response as this message, okay, which is an example again as a JSON. Okay, so now I have defined this example for get. I have defined this data type, which is my post dot postpaid, which is coming from where? Which is coming from this data type. Okay, now let us see first get what we can see. So I have not defined any type of, we can say, any type of trait or security scheme over here. Okay, so the same you can see when I'm doing, I don't have anything, no security scheme, nothing. Okay, I can see the example for get. This is my get. Okay, so get, we don't have any request input. That's why we don't see anything over here. But for post, again, we have a body. Okay, because we have defined, this is my example of that body. my name string required, which I have defined. Okay, email required, phone required. It is also giving the pattern which I have used. Okay, it is defined all the example plain enum is postpaid. Okay, tariff. Okay, so you can see all this all are required fields which is coming from where, from my data type. Okay, sorry. Now you have seen that. Okay, now suppose if I remove this required, which I asked like whether it will be mandatory or not, and most of you have said like if we don't define this, then automatically it will be optional if I have not defined that. So let let it save. Okay, if it is a star mark over here or anywhere, like if I make some change over here, there will be a start mark, that means it is not yet saved. So we should wait for it to save. Now it is saved. Now I'll go back, I'll go to post. See, I removed the required as true, still it is required. What does it mean? That means it is a mandatory field. When I'm going to pass my input, I need to pass the name field, otherwise it will fail. Agreed? Anyone, any doubt? Like, got it, correct? Even though I remove the required field, it is giving me the string as required. That means it is a mandatory field. So by default, it is not optional. By default, it is mandatory. To make it optional, what we can use? We can use question mark. So when I use question mark like this, okay, make sure it is before the colon. Okay, when I use the question mark like this, now we'll see. Okay, what happened to my name? So it is saved. So we'll go see the required option is removed. That means it is not a mandatory. So if you want to make it optional and you don't want to define the field required, okay, you need to give question mark. If you want to make it required as true, you need to remove the question mark. Got my point? Now let us see for type. Okay, we have seen the type was string. What if I remove? Okay, it's saved. By default it is giving me string. See, I have not defined anything, nothing is over here, but by default it is taking it as string. So instead of putting it like this, we can put it like this also. Sorry, no, to define any other type we need to define the type. Okay, but if we are not defining any type, by default it is string. Got it? Any question till now on this part? Okay, so this is very much important because this is going to save some line for you if I will say. Okay, I know it is a string, why should I give the type? Simply I have removed it. Okay, this is enum. What enum do? Anyone can tell me? What is the use of enum?
Set of values it will support.
Set of value it will support. Okay,
We can
anyone?
use there for that field.
Yes, so we are restricting it to this particular field, that I need only this input as a input for this field. Nothing else can be there. If I include more enums, then I am restricting like this multiple value can be coming to this particular field. Other than that, nothing should come. Other values are not allowed. Also, it is case sensitive. If it is in capital P, then it should be a capital P only when you are sending it. It's not like you will send a post with small p. It will not take it. Okay, it restrict that. Got my point? Okay, now second thing, in this you have seen like this get and post. Okay, these are mandatory I can say, because I have not defined any get and post. Simply I have used the collection and I am getting get and post both. But what if, think about a big picture, I have a library or a resource type where I have defined a particular resources, get, post, delete. So whenever I'm going to use any collections or any resource type like this, it is going to give me all the resource type what are present over there. Okay, but customer is a field where I don't want post, I want only get. Okay, but even though I am getting post, which is a waste, no use. Why should I create an extra resource? Why should I create an extra private flow in my API when I don't need it? So how to uh, manage this? Can anyone tell me how to achieve that? How to make optional to that? How can I select only one? I don't want all. How can I parameterize that? How can I restrict anyone?
Actually, in that methods also get and post, if
Mhm.
we add a question mark, I guess, then even that can be optional.
Like this.
Huh.
Okay, let's see. Yes, absolutely. So if we use a question mark over there, that means it's becoming optional. So now how to use it? Let it save. Oh, why it's not coming? Yeah, okay, sorry. So see, now what I have done, I have made optional over here and I used it over here like this. So if I want only get, I will use only get. And the input inside that is not changing. If I want to use post, I will use post as well. See, and the input inside that is still same. It is not changing. Got it? See, name was optional. It is still optional. String, still string. Nothing changed. So this is how you can use your fragments. Okay, how you can make it reusable. Any doubt till now? What is the advantage of having a library apart from defining all the fragments in a single file? Uh, See, that's what Harshit I said. Like it is a one stop where you can find everything. Now, suppose you are creating different fragments, you are going to publish that, then you are going to import that. But if you create a library in one place, you can do that. You need to import only one thing. If you want to make any changes in further at one place, you can do that. You can find everything in that. Okay, yeah, but again, if it is a small one, it is fine. But if it is like a lot of data types and things, you are not going to include that because it will make it more complex. It will make it more heavy maybe. Okay, things which you don't require in one of your API, then why should you import the library? You will create a separate fragment and you will use that. So it completely depends on your requirement. It is not a mandatory thing, but it is a useful, it's a liability asset we can say, which is a useful thing. Like where I know a particular uh, point of fragments are going to be repeated to few of my APIs, then I can create a library and I can use that instead of creating the fragments again and again separately. Okay, in that point you can say it is useful. Okay, just depend on your requirement what you want. So this is a option you have got. Instead of creating separate fragments, you also have an option to create a library.
Okay, okay. And
Does it make sense?
yes, yes.
Okay. Okay, so no question till now.
Abhishek, this is one. There's one question.
Yeah, sure.
So basically, if you go to the telecom API again,
Uh-huh.
okay, and can you go to the library again in the collections, right? You
Yeah,
just made the get. Acha, you made both get and post as option.
optional, yeah.
Okay. I was just wondering whether you just made the get as optional and why is it not showing the post? Yeah. Okay.
No, I made both
Okay.
because I want to show like because
Uh,
if I make post as mandatory, then automatically like it is going to show you post. So there
mm-hmm.
is no point to make it get only optional. Correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thanks. Yeah.
Now see, I have talked about this resource path and resource path name. Earlier we have seen resource path name. Now I'll show you what's the difference between both resource path and resource path name. Okay. So the resource path is used in get. So you will see when I use resource path, it is putting it as it is with the bar, with this slash. But when I use only resource path name, it is showing me only the resource path name. Now what if I include something? Suppose I include id. Okay, so what it is doing, it is giving me the complete, the resource path is giving me the complete path. If I go to post, it is giving me the last part, means from the last, it is giving me only the last part, it is not giving me the customer. So it is the resource path name, only take the name of the last path after your slash, the last slash whatever it is there, after that whatever name of your resource is there, it will take that. But resource path name will take the name of your complete path. Okay, this is the difference between this. So why this is useful? So this is useful to help you in this description, like you are making it common. So if you are making it common, you cannot hard code like customer. I hard coded customer, then when I am creating a new resource type called plan, in there also it is showing me, okay, this is to get customer, whereas this is to get plan. Correct. So in that case, this variable is going to help you to identify, to have the description in your API specification design center part, to have the description to know, okay, this is a part of a customer resource type. Okay, any question till now on this? Hope you understand this. Okay, about like how to make the fields as mandatory or optional without having this required field, the type as string or any other type. If you want to give, then how can you give that? Okay, these are the patterns. I'll show you like how it works. Okay, so now suppose if I give something else, it is giving me error because why? After dot, I said like it should be in between 2 to 6, like this, the length of this I to be in between 2 to 6, but I am giving it more than that. Okay, that's why it is giving me error. If I remove this, it's giving me error because why? I said there should be an at the rate. Okay, so this is how it's validating for this. Okay, if I use a 0, now it's become how much? It's become 11 letters. I defined it should be only 10 letters. Okay, 9, that means 0 to 9, that is 10. It should not start with 0 again. Okay, see, I removed one, now it is 10 letters, still it is giving me error because why? It should not start with 0. This is what I defined over here, 1 to 9. It should be in between 1 to 9 but not 0. In between it can be 0 to 9, and it should be a total of 10 characters, 10 letters. Okay, this is how it is validating. Again, for this I can also validate the decimals. It can be in between 0 to 9. It can be only 2 digits, not more than that. Sorry, let me check. Okay, it is still saving. It should give error. Okay, we'll see it from Postman. No worries. We'll see it from Postman. Okay, so till this, everything is clear. Any doubt? Anyone? Okay, so this is my prepared part. So now, till now you have seen this is my post, and here I have got only one input. So what if I want to provide two inputs to this? Like I want postware also come into the same URL. Also prepared can also come to the same URL. Okay. So how can we do that? Anyone can have any idea how to define two different inputs for a same resource for a same URL? Anyone? No? Okay. So for this, what we can do is we can use pipeline. Okay. When we use pipeline, so this make it as a or condition. Okay, so now I use another one, that is prepared. Okay, let me take it from here. This is my data type. Okay, now if we'll go and see post, you will see two inputs. One can be a postman input, one can be a prepared input. These are my two type of inputs. Got it? So it is allowing me to access the same URL, the same resource with two different inputs. One is for postpaid, one is for prepaid. Okay, now let us see and test it in through our postman how it works. So let me use the mock for this. Enable the mock, also enable the local setting. I'll copy this. I'll go to my this one, body is JSON. Okay, here I need to put the resource name, which is customer. Okay, now let me put the body. So first we'll test with this postpaid one. Let's see. Okay, it is working. Let's see with the next one, that is prepaid one. This one. Okay, send it. It is also working. Let's see what if I am not giving a valid email. See, I got error, not a valid email because the pattern doesn't match. uh, let's see with this was not working there. Let's see now. See, balance not working, doesn't match the pattern. Let's reduce it. Still I'm giving more than 2 characters. Working. For phone number, let us see we have a validation in prepared or not. Okay, we have just for length. So in postpaid we have got that validation. Let's check that. Okay, this is my postpaid. Okay, I give more characters to this. Error, required key validation not found. Okay, string phone pattern doesn't match. Why it is also showing for balance? Because I have enabled both the inputs. Okay, so it is validating both. Okay, now it's working. So it's allowing me both the inputs, one for postpaid as well, one for prepaid as well, because I have enabled both of them. Okay, if I remove one of this, okay, if I keep only postpaid, let's see what happened. Okay, this is for postpaid. Okay, if I make it as prepaid, error. If I give the input for prepaid, let me get that input. Okay, let me remove it again. If I try now, okay, let it save. I think not yet saved. Any question till now? Are you getting this, what I'm doing? Anyone, any doubt? People?
No questions
Yeah,
so far.
now I got the error. Okay, plan is not a valid enum value, tariff not found. Okay, so this is how we can provide multiple inputs, how we can validate, how we can use the fragments for resource type, libraries, data types, uh, all this. So no question till now, correct? In this, yeah, if I want to provide a security scheme, let's see that is traceable. Okay, now if I see I have provided it for get, so I can see it for get. Okay, let's see if I can see it for post. No, I don't see it for post. Okay, I don't see that because I defined only for this particular one. What if I want to define it for both? Then let's check. I guess we need to define it above this. Now let us see. If I go to my get, okay, I have this. If I go to my post, I have this. Although I have not defined it individually, what I did is I made it common. Okay, I made it common for that. If I don't want to do this as well, let's see what if can we do it over here. Is it possible? Is my lib dot traceable? Is it possible? Let's see. Let it save. Yes, it is there. For post, if you'll see, it is not there. So from outside also, although it is a part of your library, so instead of having it in your resource type, from outside also you can do that. Got it? I hope clear till this. No question till now. Are you getting this? So we have seen different fragments till now. How to create fragments, how to create specification, how to create libraries, how to import the fragments in a API specification, or then how to import that uh, imported fragment in your API specification, using the different keywords for trait, for security schemes, for resource types, for libraries. All that we have seen. Then we have seen how, without using the required keyword, we can make a field optional. Without using the type keyword, we can make it as a string. How we can use pattern to validate length of a phone number, the pattern of a phone number, the pattern of a email address, how you can restrict the decimal values. All this we have seen till now. Then how, using the libraries, we can make the, or I can say how we can make the methods optional, how we can input the methods inside our resources, what is the use of resource path and resource path name, how we can include two different data type for a single resource, uh, how it works, how it validates, how we can define user defined examples, how that variable works. All this we have seen till now. So till now, any question to anyone? Anything anyone not getting? Want any clarity on anything? You can put it on chat or you can unmute. If you're silent, I hope you are understanding that. Then you don't have any question. I will take it like that. Fine.
Abhishek,
Hmm?
till now, whatever you explained, I understood that. I have a question like restricting the number of query parameters. If we have, I have read this article from you, I guess, somewhere. So,
Query string.
yes.
That's not restricting, but
Uh,
I will explain you. That is the next
okay,
part. I will explain you.
okay.
Okay. For restricting query parameter, again, I think enum can be used. Okay, so that you
Hmm.
want a particular
No,
uh,
not value, the number, like whatever 4 to 5 query parameters I have given, only those should be passed, nothing else apart from that.
so when
Huh.
you defined a query parameter,
Mm-hmm.
okay, so you are talking about strict validation.
You have
Uh,
written an article and there is
yes,
a field which has to be set to true. I am not able to
strict
recollect that.
validation is there, and that is a part of your API. When you do like
Okay,
that is a part of your API kit router.
okay.
Probably maybe at the last, if we get some time, because that is not a part of this. This is
Not
just
of this.
typically
Yes,
RAML,
yes.
but that is, you are talking about strict validation.
Okay,
Yeah, there is an article and there is a video as well. Maybe I will share that video and article again if you want. Okay.
sure.
Uh, so the next part, so till now if everyone is clear, so the next part is query string. So can anyone explain me or give me an idea what this query string do? Anyone? And see, whatever I have created, I have used the best practices which I have defined, the the naming standard. Modularized, I have fragmentized, I have already done, and I am using this naming conventions. If you'll see, okay, this is my camel case. See, okay, I'm using the proper naming conventions. Okay, if you'll see this predefined, this is also a camel case, we can say, a proper naming convention. Okay, even though if I'm using this. So can anyone tell me what the use of this query string? Anyone, please pick up. No one.
No,
Okay.
query string is, you mean to say for the postpaid and prepaid, which you did here with the pipe symbol?
Something close to that, but it is not basically to data type. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So this is related to your query parameter. Okay. Now think of a scenario. Okay. You can get a scenario where you have defined two query parameters, say A and B. You have two query parameters, A and B. Now what happened? Although you have defined two query parameter, but it's fine if you get at least one. So based on the query parameter, you have a choice router in your application, and you're doing some several things, but you want that at least this two query parameter should come. Okay, this two should come. Apart from that, either it is like I'm not sending anything, that is not possible, or I'm sending both, that is possible, but I need at least one. There is a scenario where I can have this condition. Okay. So now, in order to achieve that, to make at least one parameter pass your application out of two or more than two mandatory one which you have, we are using query string. So query string is used for your query parameter. Okay. Now suppose I have plan. Okay. See this. This is how we defined query string, and the type what we define in type, we define the data, like the, we can say the data types, the fields probably which I want. Okay, so the data types what I have over here, I have two data type, one is plan ID and one is tariff. In that I have the field plan ID and amount. These two are my query parameter, okay, which I need to pass. So that I have defined as a type. Generally what we do, if we define a query parameter, what we do get. Okay, then we defined, we can say query parameter over here. Okay, then we define the name, say amount. We define the type as string. This is how we do. Okay, and we get the query parameter. But if I want to make it like at least one, make, although it is mandatory, I have two fields, still I want to make like at least one should part, and this is not optional. Make sure I'm not making it as optional. Like this is not like that, whether you pass it or you don't pass it. No, both are mandatory, but I'm passing at least one. If you make it optional, that means if at all you are not passing the query parameter, your API will work. But when you are using query string, this is not going to happen. If you are not passing, it will give you error. But if you are passing at least one, it's fine. Okay, so let's see how we do this. Type, okay, again mylib dot, this time I'm using query string. Okay, then query string one. Here what I will do, this is my kind of data type, mylib dot, my data type, that is plan ID. Okay, this is one query parameter which is required, and mylib, I guess it's tariff. Yes. So in my query parameter, I have got two. Okay, just see the difference. I will create one more, maybe say book. Okay, get query parameter. So amount, next is, one is amount, one is plan ID. See, we'll see the difference. Okay, so I have two different, one is plan, one is book. When I see this query parameter, I see both and required. When I see this one, the plan, where I've used the query string, either one of them. Okay, but it doesn't mean if I pass both it will not work. It will work, and we'll see that. Okay, so this is type, both are, one is type string, one is type integer, the amount is type integer. Okay, now I'll go, I will remove this, I'll put plan, it's a get parameter, body is none, query parameter, plan ID. First we are sending ABC. Let's see. Working, passing both, amount, say 10. Working, passing only amount, working, not passing anything, error. Got it. See, I'll show you again. Passing both, plan ID, amount. This is a part of my query parameter. Plan ID, tariff, that is the name of my fields, but sorry, the name of my data type, but the data inside, the field inside that is plan ID and amount. Amount is a type integer, plan ID is a type string. Passing both, working. Okay, passing only amount, working. Although both are mandatory. Passing plan ID, working. Not passing anything, not working. Because you have given option that you need to pass a query parameter. If you don't pass it, it's an issue. Now check the next one where I'm not using query string, simply passing it as a normal, how we do. Both are required, amount and plan ID. Book, that is my resource. Passing both. Although I have not given any request response, that's why it's giving like this. Passing only one, error. Passing only one, error. Amount is missing. Not passing anything, error. Okay, not passing anything, error. Passing both, success. Passing only one, not success. Again passing only one, not success. Okay, why? Amount is missing because I am giving plan ID, not giving amount. I'm giving amount, not giving plan ID. Plan ID is missing. Both are mandatory. What if I make it optional? Now you can say, what if we can make it optional? Then at least one we can pass. True, we can do that. Now passing both, taking. Okay, not saved. Let's try again. Okay, passing both. Okay, passing only one. Okay, again passing only one. Okay, not passing anything, still okay. You got the difference. In query string, if I don't pass anything, it gives me error. If I pass only one, it takes it. If I pass both, it takes it. When I made it mandatory in the second part, not using query string, if I pass both, okay. If I don't pass any one of them, error. If I make it optional, although I pass it, I don't pass it, it doesn't care. That's the difference. That's what query string helps you with to manage your query parameter. It doesn't make it optional and it doesn't make it fully mandatory. Any question?
Yeah, Abhishek, John here. Abhishek, can you just go inside that line number 24, which is mylib.query string? Just wanted to know what is inside 24. Yeah, mylib.query string.
Query string.
Yeah, you
Okay,
just
you're saying about the root file or in this library only?
no. If you come to the root file, there
Okay,
is something that you mentioned on line
this one.
24, right? Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, that's the one we defined just now, right? Yeah,
Yeah,
mylib.query
this
string.
is, see, because my resource type. This is my resource type. I have got three:
Mhm.
collection, query
Query
string,
string. Okay.
multiple. So I need to specify which one I'm calling. No?
Okay, so
I'm
that it's
calling
just that
this.
call. Okay, understood.
It
Yep.
is just to make the call. So to call the resource type, this is how we use it.
Understood,
The name
understood.
of
Got
the
it.
resource type.
And inside query string, you have defined that both thing, right? Yeah, get. Okay.
Inside query string, I have already created the structure, like it should be get, it should be description. Query string, we are not using query parameter over here. We are using query string.
Query
That is the
string.
keyword.
Yep.
In that type, how we define the body, we define the type. The same way we need to define the query string. When we create query parameter, what we do, we don't define the type like that. We simply give the parameters field over there.
Yes,
Okay, like
exactly.
again,
Yeah.
if I am creating a query parameter, simply I can define this name of the field. That's it. I am not defining any data type or anything over here. Correct?
Yep. Yep.
Yeah. This is what, like when we are doing query string, we define it like this. We don't define it a normal query parameter how we do.
Yeah. Got it. Thanks. Yeah.
Okay. One small part. There may be a question like, if I have a resource, suppose post for a resource. Now, how I have shown you, like for my uh, this customer, my data type was JSON, but I can define two different data types. So in the same way, can I define two different meme type for my API? Like I wish this URL is same, the resource is same, but it accept both JSON and XML. So is it possible? Can anyone tell? Is it possible to have it like this? Speak it up, guys. Can we have? Yes, we can. Yes, yes. People already know it. Just this is the last part. I will just show you. Okay. So I have defined this as a multiple where the entire body I made it as a variable so that I want to define it myself. I don't want anyone else to define it. I want to define my body myself. Unlike how we have done over here in this, I have defined, I made it mandatory. I don't want that. Okay, I don't want to do that. So body one is application JSON, another one is application XML. Even though if I go and see over here, now see media type. I'm not defining any data type or anything, so I don't see any example, but this is possible. It will take both JSON and XML. It will take both. Okay, so that's all from my end, John and Fatima. So anyone, any question? So just a recap what we have done. Okay, just a small. We have seen how we create fragments. Okay, one more thing, like the other option. Okay, I will show you that. The option how we create fragments, how we create specification, how we import the fragments in the specification, then to import that fragments which are imported, sorry, to use that fragments which are imported in your specification. We use the keywords like traits, types, resource types, security schemes, and how without using the required keyword we can make it mandatory or optional. Without using the type we can make it string. uh, how we use patterned, how it benefits to validate for number or string wherever you want. What's the use of the predefined variable resource path and resource path name, how the user defined variables can be used, how you can use the library, how you can like commonized or fragmentized or modularized anything which you want, how to make the methods optional, how to make the data types optional, how to pass multiple data types, how to pass multiple query parameters, how to pass multiple memes type to your body. All this we have seen in this. Okay, just one part, like I told you, if you are a say sorry, here we have, if you are learning, then when you are creating a specification, uh, we can say learner, you can use this one. When you use this, so unlike our specification the normal way where we choose I want to create it of my own, how we use that here, you can use this to learn. So see, if I give the values, it is keep on going to create this, and if we'll match it uh, with the specifications which we create, like if you want to use any protocols, any media type, basic URI, if you want to use secured by, if you want to give resources, you are adding, okay, I want to use customer, okay, I want get method, okay, what all methods I want, what responses I want, do you want to put any description, this is to get, okay, this is all will get created, and once you are done with this you can use the edit RAML and it will come up, come up like this, the normal one. So if you'll match it, so this is how what I have written. RAML title. I have not written all this version and all, but here you get the option. If you want, you can remove also. That's not necessary. If you remove, it will get removed. Okay, if you want to have data type, uh, you can have your own data type. Also, I guess you can import it. Okay, but you can have your own data type. See, when I use this, automatically the types keyword came, data type. I want it as an object, then properties, say name, I want to make it required or not. If I don't want to make it required, see, automatically the question mark came. If I make it required, removed. Type, do want to give it any type. I want to give it object, it will be object. I want to give it string, it will be string. Example, if you want to give, okay, like I want to give it example. Okay, edit. Okay, see, as I'm making the changes over here, things are coming. Okay, something went wrong. Okay, sorry, I need to do I need to put the example somewhere here. Yeah, yeah. Example, if you want to add more properties, just give the name, say uh, plan. So as I'm changing it over here, required string. If I use union, like I want it to be both, say string and number. Okay, this is one way we can do if we want to make it both string and number. If not, in this also again we can use say pipeline. I can do it like this as well. Okay, string or number. Maybe the pattern is giving an error, but we can do it like that as well. Okay, maybe I can try here. It should not give me error. Yes, if I remove the quotes, I make it number, still it will work if I make it as this. So see, this is also one way. Any of, when you use, you can define it like this. So automatically, like, this help you to guide how you can define multiple things. Okay, for say I have post. If I go to body, I want to add body, I want to have a union of it. Okay, I want to have both object and array, your data type. Okay, in this, okay,
Yeah,
I can
Abhishek,
add.
yeah, sorry to interrupt. Yeah, we have a question from Pratiksha. She's asking what are the uses of overlays and also annotation and notation types.
Uh, See, that overlays and annotation types are not much used now. I can say, like, not very much sure because I've not used it any time. I have just read it about it. Okay, so I can't give you a good explanation of that. Okay, but that is used for, I think, some documentation thing or something. But I won't be able to give you a concrete answer or example of that because I've never used that. So some of the commonly used thing which we do, I've explained that. Okay, and all these are mostly, I guess, is deprecated and not being much used, although it is there, but we don't frequently use that. Okay, and at present I'm not very much see, yeah, I don't see it. It may be a part of overly, I don't see it, may be a part of documentation, maybe annotation type is there. Okay, but I'm not very much sure at present with that. Sorry for that. Okay, so this is what this the other option of API specification use. It is very best to learn RAML. Now, if I use this one, no, I want yes, send it to text editor. If I go this, then this is again the normal way how we do it. It will bring it in that way. Okay, so that's all from my end. Anyone have any question? I hope this was informative to you.
Yeah, Abhishek, will these things would be zipped and sent towards the last? I think Kishore is asking whether he will be getting the zip files of the POCs that
Uh,
you have done.
all this POCs. Let me see. I can provide it to you, John, and if
Yeah,
you
yeah,
want,
and
you can.
I'll just probably send it to the people
Yeah,
who need it. Yeah,
yeah, I can do that.
yeah. I'll send it out to you, Kishore. Probably you can just leave in your mail ID or something, or I can take it from the list, attendees list. Yep.
Yeah. So I just stop sharing.
Yeah. So I'll just start sharing my screen. Just let me know if the screen is visible. Yep. So we are done with the demo, and yeah, I suppose there are no other questions, right? So anyway, we'll move to the yeah, sure, Srinivasu. Yeah, we'll be giving the recording link. It will be posted in the meetup page. Yeah. Okay, we'll move to the trivia quiz as always. And as you already know, we'll be selecting top three winners. And I would just suggest everyone to, the people who have already won or who are already certified to just not to participate in the meeting, or rather just see and gain knowledge from the quiz, because we can just give other people opportunity to win vouchers and the way getting certified. So yeah, we'll move to that. We'll be connecting this today on the Kahoot platform.
Uh, should we stop recording or we should keep and continue?
It's okay, right? Should we stop the recording, or I usually
Up
just
to
keep
you.
it on?
Okay,
Yeah,
that's fine.
yeah. I hope it's fine for everyone, right? I'm just gonna keep the recording on. You can just let me know in the chats, anyone, if you have anything. All right, I just guess it's an S. Yep. Okay, thanks, G. So we'll start the quiz. So you all can just log in. You people might be knowing already. You can just log in using your phone or desktop and just enter the pin that's been displayed here. And we'll just wait for some time, and we'll then start within that.
So
Yep.
we need to download this app.
No, no, just type in kahoot.it in your browser or anything, and you can just type in this code. I think Abhishek has already just mentioned that in the chat. 724425. 724245. Yeah.
Yeah, so just like you need to use two different systems, maybe in
Yeah.
one which you will see the question, and another where you will get the option and you need to select, like you will get the box
Yes.
colored one. So go
Yes.
to
Yes.
kahoot.it, enter a pin and enter a like valid name. Don't enter any nicknames so that it will be
Be easy
difficult
for
to
to understand.
identify.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Some ground
Yeah.
rules. Sorry to interrupt, John. Some ground
Yeah. No.
rules, like if you have won any voucher in last 30 days, please let us know, because even though if you win it, you are not going to get the vouchers because MuleSoft is not going to accept that. If you are a leader or uh, like from any group, mentor, ambassador, so let us know so that we can give the chance to others to get the vouchers and participate. Thank you.
Thanks, Abhishek. And just like what Abhishek said, right? For those who have not played this before, the options would be coming as colors. You can see, imagine there is a first question, and the options would be in different colors. And what you'd be seeing is just the colors. You'll have to press the right color. So, like what Abhishek said, you can just use two system, maybe one to see the question, another to give your answer inputs.
So is there a Play Store app for this?
No, you
Uh,
can just go to kahoot.it. You don't need to have an app, I guess.
Harshit, just go to the browser, type kahoot.it in any of your browser. The window will come, and there it will ask you the pin. You just need to put the pin.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, just type kahoot.it in your browser. Automatically it will come. It have a app also, but better you can do it in your browser itself.
Seems like, is anyone trying to join again, or is 20 the cap? Looks like 20 is the cap. I don't know. Yeah, 21. Yes. No, no. My bad.
25 is the cap. Like if it is like free, but you don't have full access, then 25 is the cap. But if
Okay.
you have full access, then more than that.
Okay, we can give 2 more minutes and we'll just
Yeah,
start after that. So
yeah.
the questions are, yeah, sorry, Abhishek, go on. Yeah,
No,
yeah.
no, no. Uh,
Yeah.
Carry on.
Yeah, the questions are predominantly from the topic that we covered today, and other than that, we have some other common topics or the latest topic from MuleSoft. So there are a total of 9 questions, and it all depends on the right answer as well as how fast the answers are given. Okay, so I think I'll start, right, Abhishek and Fatima. Probably this is we can just go on.
I think it's fine. Yeah, we can start.
Yeah.
Yeah, John.
So yeah, thank you. So I'm just gonna start, guys. So you can start answering something that Abhishek explained. So seems like most of them gave it the right answer. So we have Manjunath on the top as well as Bhaskar and Kishore. Yep. Let's go to the next question. Query string is applied on what?
So be careful while answering because anything can change anytime. Okay.
So majority of them again gave the right answer.
People were like
Attentive, right?
understanding and they
Yeah.
were attentive.
Yes. So now we have a shuffle. It's Bhaskar who is leading along with Arif and Annapurna. So let's go to the third question. Which keyword is used to include library name spec? So uses is the right answer. And again, majority of them gave the right one. Let's see the list now. Yeah. Okay, let's go to the next question, which is the fourth one. What is the keyword used to apply traits to a resource or methods in RAML? Okay, I
Yeah.
think some of them maybe they got confused, right? Four of them went wrong. But yeah, majority of them answered it right. So let's see this list now. It's Bhaskar, Annapurna, and Kishore.
Just some basic questions out of what we have explained.
Yep, yep. So yeah, let's go to the next one. It's a true or false now. API specification cannot be created without using fragment in it. Yep, API specification can be created without fragments. So majority of
Only
them
one got it wrong. Who is
wrong.
this?
Okay, let's see the list now. Okay, there is no change in the
No
list. It's
change.
still Bhaskar, Annapurna, and Kishore.
Just
Now I think the
Manjunath
six, yeah,
came up.
came up. Yes.
Yeah.
So the sixth question is a bit different. It's not related to RAML. So yeah,
Some ice breaking questions, huh?
policies cannot be applied to RAML-less APIs. True or false? Okay, six of them got it wrong. So we can create policies for RAML-less APIs because we can every time very well go to API manager, create an HTTP API, and then link the auto discovery. It's not necessary we need a RAML, though RAML is the best practice. Right. So 14 of them got it right. Let's go to the next question. So yeah, there is a change. Annapurna, Manjunath, as well as Harshit. So Manjat is on podium now.
Yeah, great change.
Great
That's what I
change.
said. It can change anytime.
Anytime, yeah. So let's go to the seventh question. Minimum CPU size for the Cloud Hub 2.0, the latest thing which got released.
Nice question.
Okay, majority of them gave it right. Seems like everyone is up to date with MuleSoft things, right? Yep.
Yeah.
So yes, that's right. Minimum is 0.1. Okay, let's see the list now. It's yeah, we have a new member Naman, Annapurna, Manjunath, and Naman. Yep. Let's go to the eighth question, which is a true or false. Cloud Hub 2.0 does not support features like AWS and VPC. True or false? Yep, the answer is true. Cloud Hub 2.0 unfortunately does not support AWS Direct Connect compared to Cloud Hub 1.0. both AWS Direct Connect as well as VPC pairing is, as of now, it is not supported by Cloud App 2.0. So true is the right answer. Okay. So we have Naman, Annapurna as well as Manjunath. So guys, the final question. Let's go to that. The maximum log size storage supported in Cloud App 2.0. Okay, only one of the person got it right, which is right because it's not 100, 300 or 400, it is 200 actually. Cloud of 1.0 had the limitation of 100 MB or 30 days, whichever is earlier. But for this one, it is 200 or 30 days. So none of the above is the right answer. Okay, let's go to the final positions in the podium.
That means not much change then.
Annapurna,
Annapurna,
Annapurna on the third place, Praveen,
Praveen.
and we have Naman.
Naman.
Yeah,
Okay.
congrats,
That is
Naman, Praveen, and
Congrats,
Annapurna.
guys.
congratulations, guys. Okay,
Congrats,
Manjunath
everyone.
at the fourth. Cool.
No problem. Thank you everyone who participated. I think yeah, it's all about the participation, right? Yep.
Yeah.
So both, I mean, all the three, Naman, Praveen, and Annapurna, if you can just put in your email IDs. So Fatima, if you can just note
Yeah,
down
yeah,
that,
yeah. I'll
we'll get
take
back to
note
you
of
guys. After all the paperwork and everything, and we can just discuss about other things. Yeah. Yep. So yeah.
Sure.
So that's it,
Congratulations,
guys.
guys. And I will just try to share the
Zip right.
zip
The
with
Yep.
John, and when he is uploading, he can get you with that.
Yes. Yes. So
Okay.
going to the final slides. Thank you everyone today for just like what Abhishek and Fatima said. Thank you everyone for hopping in, especially on a Saturday. And yeah, I hope this was a very valuable meet for you. And if you would like to speak for the next meetup, and or if you have any good suggestions, right, please feel free to write to us or even connect with us on LinkedIn. It's very well the same name as what you see over here, which is John Matthew Philip as well as Fatima Farzana. You can just search for us on LinkedIn and get to us for good topics, or if you would like to speak for the next meetup as well. And yeah, guys, as conveyed in the beginning, feel free to just give your valuable feedback, which actually helps us to improve for the next meetups and the forthcoming ones. So yeah, guys, and do share if you would like to with the tag MuleSoft Meetup so that it have wider reach, right? So thank you, guys. Thank you again. So anything else, Abhishek and Fatima, you would like to add in?
Just all good. All thanks for joining, and thanks for your appreciation. Just give the feedback. That is very much important. Okay, we'll wait for your feedbacks, and have a great day.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Thank you,
Thank
Abhishek.
you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank
Have
you,
a good
Abhishek.
weekend.
Thank you.